You should have gone for the head.
Grab some delicious Yo Magic and your prescription of Nexus antidepressant, because it's probably going to be at least over a year before we get Wandavision Season 2.
I'm in a glass case of emotion!
But fear not, the season finale had some major clues hinting at what's next for Wanda, and in this video we'll be taking a deep dive into all those hidden details, including both post-credit scenes and what they're setting up for both Season 2 and Marvel Phase 4. So wipe away your tears with an extra strength Lagos paper towel and make sure to like and subscribe, because here we go. Well, if it isn't the old neighbor stealing your kids to duke it out on the street scenario. Agnes Harkness has Billy and Tommy tied up like puppets, and I still can't believe Billy is the kid from The Haunting of Hill House.
Okay.
This whole scene is kind of ironic, since the entire season it's been Wanda who's had people under her control. Now it's Agnes with Wanda's children. She's their puppet master. Agnes even has a callback to Age of Ultron, saying of Wanda's control of Dottie,
"What are you doing to her? You're making her say this."
She's your meat puppet, I just cut her strings.
I had strings, but now I'm free.
With her kids in danger, Wanda attacks, but unbeknownst to her, that's exactly what Agnes wants.
My powers work out here, or did you forget?
No, dear. I'm counting on it.
That's because Agnes has the ability to absorb these powers, or at least suck the power out of those who attack her. We saw this back in 1693 when the coven she was a part of attempted to kill her. Instead, she ended up draining them of all their power, turning them into these shriveled corpses. This is exactly what happens to Wanda after her first attack. Her hand begins to decompose. Agnes wants to know how Wanda was able to conjure magic as powerful as the Hex, the energy field which surrounds Westview and holds all its townspeople under Wanda's spell. You see, Agnes has been waiting centuries for someone with Wanda's powers. It's taken her years to perfect smaller spells like transmutation, so she's naturally curious how Wanda was able to learn such powerful magic in a small amount of time. And she wants that power due in large part because she believes Wanda is undeserving.
I take power from the undeserving. It's kind of my thing.
Wanda ends up throwing a ruby-colored car at Agnes in an homage to the house falling on another famous witch, the Wicked Witch of the East from The Wizard of Oz. Only this time it's crushing a witch into a house instead of a house falling on a witch. Coincidentally, Oz the Great and Powerful is playing at the Coronet Theater, another Disney film that came out in the year 2013. Coronet also refers to a crown, one which Wanda receives as she fully transforms into the Scarlet Witch. And if this witch beef couldn't get paprikash enough that's supposed to be spicy, in comes White Vision to duke it out with the Vision. We saw White Vision in the end credits of episode 8. He's basically Agent Hayward's new version of Vision, which he was able to power up using the drone that was imbued with Wanda's powers they retrieved a few episodes ago. And it seems this energy is fed through a Stark arc reactor in place of the Mind Stone. Agnes says to Wanda of White Vision's arrival,
Oh, this is awkward. Your ex and your boyfriend together at the same party.
Which basically refers to these two Visions having two different histories with Wanda. White Vision, who holds all the memories from her past buried away in his data core, and the Vision being the version created by Wanda in Westview. Hayward doesn't care that he's basically gone rogue to make sure White Vision emerges from the Hex victorious.
No one's gonna care once I've eliminated Wanda Maximoff. They'll believe that the Vision who emerges from the Westview rubble is the same one she illegally tried to bring back to life.
It's kinda hinted at in episode 8 that Hayward wanted Wanda to steal Vision's body, as she was the only one that could bring him back to life, and he wants Vision alive so that Vision can be used as a weapon. Agent Jimmy Woo, meanwhile, is handcuffed by Hayward's men, but easily escapes, saying,
"Flourish."
A nod to episode 2's magic show.
Flourish!
When Wanda arrives downtown, Dennis, the town's mailman, says,
"Don't shoot, I'm just a messenger."
the same line he says to Agnes also in episode 2.
"Don't shoot, I'm just a messenger."
Pew, pew.
I also like how he works for a company called Presto, the word a magician says while pulling a rabbit out of a hat, which is exactly what animal is on his baseball cap. Agnes tells Wanda that the Darkhold, the magic tome we first saw in Agnes's basement, has an entire chapter devoted to the Scarlet Witch. Not very uplifting since she calls it the Book of the Damned. It's also pretty ironic she stands in front of a giant billboard for Squeaky Shine, a cleaner that uses the power of Earth, since the power both Wanda and Agnes use, magic, is derived from other dimensions. Wanda's told she's a witch, but she's like,
Not a witch, I'm not a witch.
and she better not be, because according to Agnes, the Scarlet Witch's destiny is to destroy the world.
It's your destiny to destroy the world.
Man, that's a bummer.
Meanwhile, we get our first glimpse this episode of Monica Rambeau, who we last saw in the post-credits scene of episode 7. She's been taken hostage by Ralph Boner. Agnes's minion, who was cast to play Wanda's dead brother, Pietro. Ralph also happens to be the name of Agnes's husband, who she constantly referred to throughout the season, but who we never saw. Now, there are some people who think he might be the person Agent Wu was looking for, who went missing from the Witness Protection Program, but there's very little evidence to back that up, like when he laughs at his own last name, which would have been given to him as a new identity. Little does Ralph know that Monica's entire molecular structure has changed. This is hinted at in earlier episodes when her scans come back blank and they need to retest her blood. I won't get too in-depth in this video about it, but Monica has basically turned into a more powerful version of Captain Marvel, with the added bonus of being able to absorb and manipulate the energies of other heroes. We get a brief taste of this when she absorbs one of Wanda's blasts and lands unscathed. She can also see a different spectrum of energy with her eyesight, hence why she's able to see the purple glow emanating from the vines in Agnes's basement, but Wanda doesn't see it. She takes off Boner's necklace, which is just a very weird thing to say, which was glowing purple, the item Agnes used to control him. If you're looking for a more detailed explanation on Monica's powers, I suggest you check out Emergency Awesome's video on it. I'll leave a link in the description. Agnes turns the entire town against Wanda, turning off Wanda's mind control, and these guys are in a lot of pain. The mom from that 70s show is like,
If you won't let us go, just let us die.
Wanda, upon seeing this, opens the hex, allowing the people to escape, but this has the adverse effect of destroying the thing she loves most, her family.
You tied your family to this twisted world, and now one can't exist without the other.
Wanda can't bear to see her family destroyed, and the opening of the hex is short-lived, but long enough to allow Hayward and his men inside. Wanda takes on Agnes, snapping her fingers just like Samantha in Bewitched, one of Wanda's favorite childhood sitcoms, does. Meanwhile, the two visions fight in what can't be a coincidence, a library, a place of vast knowledge. Vision brings up the allegory of Theseus in the ship, which asks the question, if you have a ship and slowly over time replace the rotting wood of it with newer pieces, is it still the same ship? In this scenario, the two visions are the ship and Wanda is Theseus. The Vision is able to unlock White Vision's memory, something he says is not easily wiped, and allows White Vision to transform from a mindless robot to something more human. His eyes change from robotic to human to signify this change. Then he's like, peace, I'm out of here, and we never see him again. But we'll get more into White Vision in a bit. Like any good mom, Wanda leaves Billy and Tommy in charge of taking on all the military, but as soon as they're attacked, Monica steps in and absorbs the bullets. This has to be her manifesting Vision's power. Not only is it the same yellow color, but being able to have objects go through her is exactly what Vision can do. And it's possible she may have learned this while watching the two Visions fight from Ralph or Pietro's window at the beginning of the episode. Wanda tries to perform one of Agnes's own tricks on her by transporting her into the memory of the day she was killed by her coven. This backfires when the dead witches reanimate and call her the Scarlet Witch, the harbinger of chaos. She blasts them away as a scarlet crown dons her head, fulfilling the vision she saw years ago of a floating crowned figure. Agnes gives Wanda one last chance to live pain-free in a world of her own.
Give me your power, and I will correct the flaws in your original spell, and no one will ever have to feel this pain again.
But Wanda has one last trick up her sleeve. She's covered the hex in protection runes, just like the one Agnes had in her basement, making any other witch but Wanda unable to use magic.
In a given space, only the witch who cast them can use her magic.
Instead of killing or locking Agnes up, Wanda gives her what she believes to be a worse fate, to play the role of the nosy neighbor in Westview forever. And this opens up a lot of possibilities for us to return to Westview. Wanda might need Agnes later on, or someone may come along and free her. Long story short, this is likely not the last time we'll see Agnes.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
And I killed Sparky, too.
Wanda and Vision both know at this point what Wanda must do: remove the hex for good and move on with her life.
I know you'll set everything right. Just not for us.
It's a bit sad, but there's some hope here. Vision has changed over the years, just like Theseus's ship. Who's to say he won't be back, and who knows in what form? There's also White Vision, now having unlocked the memories of the past. If he has these memories, are his feelings for Wanda not there as well? Surely he would be looking for her, but as we'll see in a bit, Wanda may not want to be found. As Wanda says goodbye to her boys, we finish her character arc for this season. She started in grief, unable to let go of her family, constructing a world where she'd never have to be in pain, but this is at the expense of others. And now she's learned to overcome her own pain, to learn that family is forever.
A family is forever. We could never truly leave each other even if we tried.
Vision and Wanda say goodbye. He's the piece of the Mind Stone that lives in her. He'll always be there. Even though this version of him was created by Wanda, he is now
A memory. Made real. Who knows what I might be next?
The show is called Wandavision. Vision isn't going anywhere. The question remains in what form he will manifest. Will it be White Vision, or is there another universal reality where he still exists? More on that in a bit. Bonus points if you saw the marquee playing Tannhauser Gate, a location mentioned in Blade Runner and also a nod to the German opera Tannhauser, the story of which revolves around redemption through love. Sound familiar? With Wanda's mind-controlled Westview gone, there's one final goodbye. That between Monica and Wanda, where Wanda apologizes for all the pain she's caused. The show has never really been about the relationship between these two particular characters. This is more of a setup for where their characters may be headed outside the WandaVision series. Wanda tells Monica,
I don't understand this power, but I will.
Which will likely be her big arc and what Season 2 will focus on. If Season 1 was focused around Westview, Season 2 is her learning to discover her power and unlock its mysteries, perhaps even learning how to bring back Tommy and Billy. In the second post-credits scene, we see Wanda in a secluded, almost Norse-like location. It seems as though she doesn't want to be found, nor disturbed. She's seen levitating, perhaps astral projecting, looking through the Darkhold, when she's interrupted by the sounds of Tommy and Billy asking for help. How can they still be alive? I know a lot of theories out there have centered around a multiverse, and that is a possibility. Magic does come from other dimensions in the Marvel Universe, but I can't help but think Doctor Strange might be involved here somehow. Maybe it's him who's using these voices to lure Wanda out of hiding. Wanda's astral projecting form here also looks similar to Strange's form when he astral projects. This allowed him to study while his body rested. Wanda makes tea while she simultaneously studies. Doctor Strange also oversaw 14 million different outcomes trying to figure out a way to destroy Thanos. Can Wanda also use this skill for her own gain? Of course she would probably need the Time Stone. Is there an outcome where she can save her children? And can Strange help her out? Elizabeth Olsen has been cast in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and began filming right after WandaVision, so expect her post-credit scene to tie into that. And finally, we have that other post-credit scene where Hayward is arrested and Monica is met with a Skrull agent. She was sent by an old friend of her mother's who wants to meet with her up there. This has to be Nick Fury, who we last saw hanging out with the Skrulls in a spaceship in the mid-credits scene of Spider-Man Far From Home. Nick met young Monica Rambeau in Captain Marvel and said she can have adventures up in space when she can glow too.
Well, only if you learn to glow like your Auntie Carol.
Well, it looks like her time has come, and we'll be seeing more of Monica in both Captain Marvel 2 and Nick Fury's own Disney Plus show, Secret Invasion. Other characters like Darcy Lewis and Agent Wu are likely to return next season too. They were huge fan hits, with some even calling on them to have their own Disney Plus spin-off. That's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and please make sure to like and subscribe. I'm always coming out with new videos. For more bad takes, you can always follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember, Daddy loves you very much.